Hello there, it's your favorite Uncle Josh, and we are back with another theme in science fiction. Okay, y'all, so this one is one of my favorites, and that is the multiverse. Now, of course, the multiverse has become ever so popular with movies such as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and of course, one of the greatest, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And with those being said, the multiverse is basically just a whole what if. Now, I do like Marvel because Marvel actually did a good job on explaining the multiverse, sacred timelines, and what that is. So basically, it's just a what if. What if I decided to walk down the street on a Tuesday instead of catching the bus? What if I decided to not hit the snooze button and actually wake up on time? The theory goes that there was a you that did hit the snooze button and woke up on time. There was a theory of you that actually woke up an hour before. Excuse me, so forth and so on. However, I am going to go out on a limb here. As you guys know, I believe that the Bible is probably one of the greatest science fiction books to ever be invented because it's so used heavily on, and you can find so many aspects of science fiction and fantasy. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say a good a good multiversal story is actually the Book of Esther. You're probably thinking the Book of Esther, who's ever reading it? But no, y'all, I need you to take this into consideration. Many theologians, many archaeologists, anthropologists, and historians have said that Esther did not exist. She did not exist. They said that the woman that was married to King Xerxes at that time, that is mentioned in the Bible, was not Esther. I forgot her name, but it's a different name. And so that got me thinking, well, Lord, the people that wrote this, when the Holy Spirit came upon them, they gave them Esther. So where did Esther come from? So it got me thinking, is Esther a multiversal story? Is this a story of a woman who actually existed in another plane, another dimension, and is able to do all these things, and we get privy enough to listen to it? Think of it like the Mandela effect, but at that time. Think of their version of the Mandela effect. And I think that's what the multiverse is too, is that when we all remember that Bernstein's was spelled a different way because it was, and that Oscar Mayer was spelled a different way because it was, and that Mandela died when he actually didn't. The multiverse is basically like that. It's our timelines kind of hitting each other. And in a timeline, Oscar Mayer was spelled that way. And our timeline, in a different timeline, Bernstein's was spelled that way. In a different timeline, Sinbad really starred in that movie that he never starred in. In a different timeline, there was Mandela that actually did die at that time. In a different timeline, 9/11 didn't happen, but 9/12 did. And how did it happen 9/12 shape the world? How did it happen at 9/10 shape the world? So it's always about that too. I do believe that is a multiversal story. I do believe that was a story that kind of God said, this happened in this universe. So let me give it to y'all because y'all going to benefit from it. And for my Catholics, my Orthodox, my Jews, we have the Book of Judith. Judith is a multiversal story. Judith is actually based off of, from my research, Judith was based off of the story of Jael in the book of Judges chapter 4 when Deborah had to go to war. She was the prophet. Her friend Jael was the one that gave a man the milk and hit a nail in the man's head twice, and Judith chopped the man's head off using two hacks, like ha 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 ha. So that was the inspiration of it, but it could have very well been its own story in a different universe that we got privy to learning and we got privy to knowing. So always look at it that way too, y'all. For those of you that love the multiverse, love the multiversal theories, look at stories that people are claiming to be like quote unquote gospel, claiming to be true. But then when you do your research, you're like, well, they said this person didn't exist. So would that mean the story didn't exist? No, it may not exist to us, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist in another plane, another dimension. Open up your minds, y'all. This is science fiction. This is fantasy. We are allowed to explore. Let your imagination run wild, but not too wild to where God has to do the whole restore of the soul thing. Your mind just got crazy. You know what I mean, y'all. So it's your favorite Uncle Josh. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are dope. Like, comment, subscribe, share, come back. And y'all tell me, what is your favorite multiversal movie, story, song, a song that it's true, but nobody else know it exists, but it's real, you heard it before. Always remember, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification, and come back. come on back. Like the prodigal son come back.